Hi yogis, welcome back. This conversation is on the bandhas. There's five locks that we engage when we're practicing Hatha yoga, and the intention of engaging the bandhas is to create a feeling of ease and lightness in the pose. And it also, so the bandhas are, they're energetic locks throughout your body. There's 5 of them. And when you start to engage the bandhas in your practice, you develop this feeling of freedom because you're not concerned anymore with what your pose looks like. When you're in Warrior 2 and you're engaging your root lock and you're engaging your Hasta Bandha, your foot lock, you find this elegance and this ease in the pose. And it doesn't matter how deeply your knee is bent. It doesn't matter how your shoulders, how square your shoulders and your hips are. In your Warrior 2 or any other pose, you will just feel this lightness and this freedom to just be exactly as you are right now, whether you're injured or whether you're feeling really buoyant with fitness. The bandhas give you freedom to just be in the pose. They're felt internally, and that's why it's so freeing to engage the bandhas, because nobody around you can see them. Even if you're looking at a picture of yourself, you can't see the bandhas. They're an internal engagement. And they also create this feeling of mindfulness in your asana practice, because it gives you, it's just yet another opportunity to participate in the practice, but be neither for nor against the current experience. You're just doing your poses, cultivating this feeling of buoyancy, but you're not judging your appearance in the pose. So whether you're debilitated by injury, either emotional or physical injury, or whether you're feeling absolutely buoyant with strength and energy, you can always find stability and ease in all of your asana practice, all of your poses, when you start to pay attention to the bandhas. It's yet another way to remind yourself not to perform your practice, but to just appreciate your current physicality, your current state of physical mobility and fitness. So come on up to standing. Before we go there, the 5 bandhas, and you can follow along in your textbook. The 5 bandhas are the Pada Bandha, which is your feet, Hasta Bandha, which is your hands, Mula Bandha, your root lock, Uddiyana Bandha, your throat lock, and Maha Bandha, which is the great lock, all 4 of them combined. We'll start from the bottom up. Start with Pada Bandha, which is your feet lock. Let's move that out of the shot. So come on up to Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of your mat, and root down firmly into both your feet. Just bring your hands onto your waist. Pick up one foot, sort of shuffle around on on both sides of your balancing foot, and then press down and pick up your other foot. Shuffle around on both corners of that foot. And then press both feet down into the mat. Shuffle your weight around and find equal balance between both feet. Tadasana, you have a strong engagement of your quadricep muscles just above your knees. Your hips are tucked underneath your shoulders. Your spine is strong and straight, and your hands are at your side. Chin parallel to the ceiling, to the floor. Now, Pada Bandha, your root lock. Imagine that your feet are growing roots. You are connected to the mat, to the floor, to the earth. And no gust of wind, no change in circumstances, nothing can displace you from this connection to your root lock. To your foot lock. Count out 5 breaths here in Tadasana, pressing equally into both feet. Now hold on to that feeling of strong legs. So your legs are equally weighted. They're very strong, stable foundation. With that feeling of strength, come to sit in Paschimottanasana. Legs are extended out in front of you. And then imagine that you're pressing your feet into an imaginary wall. So your feet, you still have that strong engagement, this strong support from your lower body. Hasta Bandha, engage your feet, press them equally into the imaginary wall. If you can, spread your toes. Keep that strength and that energy in your feet. Look up slightly, breathe in. And then fold. Exhale. Take 5 breaths in Paschimottanasana, but do not let that energy in your feet dissipate. Come up halfway with a breath in. Come all the way up with a breath out. The next bandha is Hasta Bandha. Press your hands down and into the mat beside your hips. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. And then root down into your hands and just lift your bum up and off the mat. It doesn't matter if it actually elevates, but you're just practicing that equal distribution between both hands. Engage your feet as well. Stay strong and buoyant here. Take a breath in. And then lower down and exhale. Do that twice more. So lift, pressing into your hands and your feet, and lower. Do one more. Lift, and then lower. So the whole thing, the whole asana practice is it's just that. It's a practice. You work with what you have right now. So come into downward facing dog, the next practice for engaging your hand lock, Hasta Bandha. So hands equally weighted, feet equally weighted, and then lift up one foot. Feel 3 points of contact. And then lift up the other foot. And then lift up one hand, and then the other one. And then root firmly into 4 points of contact. So Hasta Bandha, that's your hand lock. Hands are rooted firmly down. Next, set up for crow. So ultimately, when you have that lock with your hands, you might be able to press up into handstand. Like I said, it's a practice. It's a practice. You just keep trying, keep creating that buoyancy and lightness, and then your poses, they start to give you freedom of movement. Come into crow pose. So plant your hands. Second one to practice Hasta Bandha. Plant your hands. Hands are weighted equally, and then pick your feet up and off the mat. Touch your toes together. Take a little break. Lower your feet down to the mat. Root your hands down into the mat here, and then imagine that there's just a little pocket of air. Well, don't imagine it. Actually create a little pocket of air right underneath the palm of your hand, right in the center. Root your hands down, create that little pocket of air. Set up for crow pose again. So firm connection with the earth through your hands. Hands weighted equally. Be brave, rise up. And then take a little break. Exhale. So feet and hands, those are our tactile connections to the earth. The next lock, Mula Bandha, you can find that in Sukhasana. So it's this lifting of your pelvic floor. If you've done any Kundalini yoga, they describe it really well, and it's a big part of creating this buoyancy when they spend so much time sitting and chanting. And it's this tightening, this locking of your pelvic floor and of your perineum. And the intention is to hold onto this buoyant feeling of energy in the lowest part of your belly. So sit in Sukhasana, sit up tall, and then contract the muscles of your pelvic floor. And take 5 breaths here. Mula Bandha is that root, is your root lock. It is a buoyancy in your low belly. The next lock, Uddiyana Bandha, is just above Mula Bandha. It's more in your abdominal cavity, and it's a lock in, it's just another energetic lock that holds all of the energy that you've lifted up from from Mula Bandha, and then you hold it in Uddiyana Bandha, which is kind of where your navel is. So place your hand on your belly button. Stand up with your feet hip-width apart. And then just pretend to inhale. So you remember that 3-part breath where you expand your belly. This time, breathe in, but don't expand your belly. So just pretend that you're puffing up your belly. But while you're doing that, suck your belly button back and towards your spine. Hold for a couple of breaths or a couple of seconds, a couple of counts. And then just release. Come back to Tadasana. Hands rooted, hands beside your feet, beside your hips, feet rooted into the mat. This time bring your hands onto your waist. Tip forward slightly. As you inhale, scoop your low belly up and in. So tuck your low belly in. Uddiyana Bandha, and then stand up as you exhale, but don't release that energetic lock in your abdomen. Hold. So you're still breathing, but you're holding this energetic feeling of buoyancy. And then next, we'll try that one more time. Just relax in Tadasana, hands beside your hips, feet rooted into the mat. Bring your hands onto your waist, tip forward slightly, take a big gulp of air in, suck your belly button back towards your navel, and then stand up. Keep breathing, but keep that energetic feel. If you like, you can engage your root lock, your Mula Bandha at the same time. That's that energetic lifting of your pelvic floor. And then just relax. So as I said, these the bandhas are they're an esoteric part of the yoga practice. They're very difficult to explain. It's very experiential. You practice it, and ultimately you feel this ease and grace in all of your poses. But like the entire practice of yoga itself, it's just simply an exercise in practice and patience. Finally, Maha Bandha is the great lock. It is the other 4 all combined. It is just a feeling of infinite energy, ease, and lightness. And it's, for example, if you do 108 sun salutations, you have all of these locks engaged, and you feel this infinite feeling of energetic homeostasis. You can just continue on through the sun salutations by practicing your engagement with Maha Bandha. So we'll practice it in Tadasana. Feet are locked down to the mat. Hands are energetically reaching down towards the mat. Your Mula Bandha, that's your pelvic floor, engaged. Uddiyana Bandha is engaged. Just tip forward slightly. Take that big gulp of air in, and then stand here. You look like you are doing nothing, but actually you have these 4 locks engaged, ultimately engaged in Maha Bandha, the great lock. And then just to add one more thing to Maha Bandha, so the final lock is Jalandhara Bandha, is the throat lock. So you have it's these energetic locks starting from your feet, your hands, your pelvic floor, your abdomen, and then finally your throat. So standing here, just tuck your chin slightly in towards your chest. Your throat lock, you're still breathing, but you just, you imagine that there's no energy escaping out above your throat. Great. And then Maha Bandha. When I said 4, it includes Jalandhara Bandha. So Hasta Bandha, your feet are locked, your hands are locked. Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha, your abdomen. Jalandhara Bandha, your throat lock. We'll do 2 sun salutations, 2 sun salutation Bs, and see if you can engage your locks the whole time. Come up to the top of your mat. Root down into your feet, feet together, knees together. Utkatasana, chair pose, inhale, press your palms together. Fold forward, exhale. Look up and lengthen, inhale. Step back, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right leg to the ceiling, inhale. Virabhadrasana A. Palms together. Exhale, both hands down, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, inhale. Step through as you exhale. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana A, inhale. Exhale, both hands down, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Look forward. Step or float to the top of the mat. Look up. Feet together, knees together. Fold forward. Chair pose. Press your palms together. Stand up. Tadasana. Feel all 4 energetic locks, culminating in the great lock, Maha Bandha. One more sun salutation B. Feet together, knees together, Utkatasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, inhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, exhale. Virabhadrasana A. Rise up, inhale. Exhale. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, inhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, exhale. Virabhadrasana A. Inhale. Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, inhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, exhale. Step or float to the top of the mat, feet and knees together. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale, stand up. Exhale. Samastitihi. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for practicing the bandhas with me. Until we meet again.